Welcome to Dependable Flame, where we explore vintage petrol lighters, ashtrays, tobacciana, and other useful mechanisms. Make yourself at home.
Today we are going to pull the insert out of this 1941 Replica Zippo windproof lighter. It's the one that I have been using for the last month or so as my everyday carry lighter. Really cool. I'm really enjoying it a lot. So we're just going to take a look at the condition of the insert and the position of the wick as it came from the factory, and then determine if we want to go ahead and reposition that wick into a more typical S-shaped pattern.
Drop the flint out of there. Saw me removing the flint spring and screw just before that. Get our pick and pull up the felt pad that is on the bottom of the insert. And then we'll go ahead and start pulling cotton out of here. And the majority of it comes out in one wad. And you can see that this wick was actually not dispersed too bad in there. It's like a giant, like it was doubled over and then a giant U shape. So not exactly like I would want it, but not horrible. I think that would probably suit the criteria. Now, as you used it and began to pull the wick up, then it might not be so evenly dispersed as if you had it in the typical S-shaped pattern. So get that poked right back through there easy enough. I'm back to putting them through from the bottom. Nobody's complained about that in a while, so I'm just going to do it the way I want to. Regardless, I guess some people see that the instructions say put it in from the top and it just has to go in from the top, but I like to follow instructions, but I also like to apply logic to what I'm doing. It makes no difference whatsoever whether you put that wick in from the bottom or the top, so long as you have it in the proper position. So take that for what you will, and we will reposition these pellets of rayon in here and intersperse the wick as we do it, and then you will see that we have achieved what we endeavored to accomplish. So a little bit of indecision on my part as I was putting those last pieces in. Started to fold it in again, but there really wasn't that much wick, and I don't think it matters. It certainly doesn't matter to me if the wick comes down in the perfect center. I like it to come down more toward the middle. I don't really want it off in a corner, but either way, I don't think it is really all that important so long as it runs all the way down to the bottom. Get our flint back in. Felt pad, which is still pretty white looking, pretty clean. Shake that flint down in there so hopefully it finds as close to the previous grooves as possible before we tighten it, and then give it a spin or two to make sure that we do have it grooved and not getting it too tight before we get it all moving in the right direction. So you can see there we've got good spark. Position the wick into the center of the chimney, right about in the middle, and then bloom that top of the wick out. Talked about this many times. It really seems to me to give a much higher percentage, a much better chance of ignition than leaving it otherwise. It's not really that big a deal with Zippos because they light pretty reliably, but nonetheless, I prefer a bloomed out wick to a long slender one any day. I'm using the Ronsonol currently that I picked up at the grocery store, or maybe it was the pharmacy. I can't remember. Pharmacy. I think I got that bottle at Walgreens. I think I achieved a pretty perfect pour there. I don't believe that it leaked out on me any. That still, to me, strikes a really cool look with that 14-hole insert. And despite the scratches that this lighter has, and it came to me brand new, but with some minor imperfections, you'll see some scratches on the front of the lighter, both to the lid and the case, which I kind of hope to use it enough to maybe smooth those out. But you already have to get it in the right light to even see them. So I'm not all that worried about it. It's going to take on more scratches and sure lose some plating and maybe corrode and who knows what else by the time that I'm done with it. So we're just going to live with it, whatever occurs. Really cool retro looking base stamp for your replica lighter. I drive a Jeep Renegade, and one cool thing that Jeep did when they made those vehicles, they hid little Easter eggs all over the place, hinting at or paying homage to the history of Jeep. The iconic Jeep grill to Sasquatch traipsing across the back window underneath the windshield wiper where it's kind of hard to see. There's several little Easter eggs like that hidden around the vehicle. And that's kind of the way I feel about this 1941 replica. From the 14-hole insert or chimney to the hollow rivet on the file wheel to the 4-barrel hinge to the straight spines of the lighter, they're all little Easter eggs or details that pay homage to maybe not the original Zippo, but certainly one that was a lot older than what we are using today. And I don't know, I hear ZF77 say it all the time that the 1941 replica is the most common design. I've never looked that much into it, which ones sell the most or anything like that, but certainly suits me perfectly fine. I haven't seen too many 41 replicas with designs on them, but that would be a really cool collection to start. Little niche of Zippos.
Until next time.